Hello and welcome to Charlie's here in Summers Point for a special edition of This Week in Baseball South Jersey and BFA Sports alongside 97.3 ESPN. Doug Stasic joined alongside the living legend, Mike Gill, and former Mainland Mustang. So, fellas, it's one heck of an evening to say the least. A little bit chaotic from a technical side, but more importantly, we're here for a great cause. So we're joined alongside Billy Kern, head coach of the Mainland Mustangs, alongside Mike Edwards. Assistant, gentlemen, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Well, you know, it's pretty wild the fact that there's just so many things that we have rocking and rolling this fine evening, but we have a little bit of a traffic jam because we had a late start, Mike.
Yeah, and obviously we had a late start thinking about baseball because we haven't played a high school baseball game in how long has it been, guys? And the anticipation for the season has got to be, charging you guys up to get ready for this great event. But just getting back out there in general has got to be something that you're looking forward to. You had 3 practices last year?
About 3 practices, and we're about 22 months out for some of these guys playing competitive sports. So with the event coming up, we were looking at different dates, and Mike and I kind of settled on let's kick it off. Let's keep the event in the same date it always is, and let's kind of have a great kickoff to 2021.
Now, you talked about how many seasons, and it's a little wonky, but this is a great event that's been, going into how many years? Give us the background of Coaches versus Cancer, which will be April 23rd, 24th, 25 this year.
Correct. We started it. This is because of, obviously, the pandemic. This is our 10th year, but our 9th overall tournament, obviously, with last year getting canceled. We've been at it for 9 years. We kicked it off in Millville, where I was previously an assistant with Roy Hallenbeck and worked with Kenny Williams, and we kicked it off there, and we had a lot of success there, and some life changes brought me to Mainland, and we were able to bring the tournament here with us, and It's just been an incredible success. Mainland's welcomed it with open arms. The whole community's been outstanding. So
much like the Battle by the Bay in basketball, it's noted for the talent that has played in that tournament. Just talk about some of the talent that has appeared in this tournament over the years.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. The big story right now is of course, Mike Adams and him signing with the Phillies. He actually pitched in our event when he was a Spartan years ago. We've had some tremendous matchups, with Joe Gatto and some of the guys at Gloucester Catholic and Bishop Eustace. Devin Smeltzer pitched, I believe, against Coach Kern one year. Didn't work out.
Didn't go too well for the Mustangs.
We've had some big time college guys, some big time pro guys, and some big leaguers over the years, and we've been really lucky to have big names in the tournament.
Now, I'm an old Mustang. We weren't very good. That program was not very good when I was there, but what has changed about that program that has made it a perennial top of the league mention in your eyes, and not just you, the coach, because that would be very selfish?
I actually thought you were talking about St. Augustine, so I appreciate the kind words, but Mike Byler does a great job. But, when I got to take over the program in 2012, it was in a good place. Gary Hegg did a fantastic job. I got to play for Gary and coach for Gary, so I by no stretch of the imagination was it a total rebuild job. Gary was fantastic, had a lot of success, put a lot of players in college. So it was more just kind of bringing in people that I wanted to bring in. We had Brian Smith. I was fortunate enough to coach with both of my brothers for several years, which is real special for me and my family. And then when the opportunity opened up to get guys like Brian Hatz and Mike Kamak, and now I got Mike on here. Mike Coomerly came over from Lower Cape May. So anytime you have an opportunity to have good people around you, successful things can happen. So strangely enough, as Mike was telling the story about the event moving to Mainland, we actually sat right where we're sitting several years ago on this perch, and he said, "This is the event I run. Kind of how can we take it to the next level? How can we build it up?" So anything we do in our program, we try to do it first class, and we try to always improve upon the year before. And we have a great board that works with us that we like to recognize as well. That kind of makes this event go.
Yeah, we're actually we got to the point where it had grown so much that we actually developed an entire nonprofit organization called Mainland Baseball CVC. And we got a great group of guys that help us out. Dan Fimiani from Millville. He's been a tremendous addition to the group. Brent Bean in Atlantic City. And then we got the BPC guys, Eddie Charlton and Mike Adams. And we got Coach Hatz, as Billy mentioned. And, so we're lucky to have a really good support system. It's been great. And I do have to say, when I mentioned support system, I promised my kids and my wife that I would mention them. So, and I
check the box then, Mike.
Yeah, I have to, because, as you guys know, there's a tremendous amount of time that goes into it.
Yeah.
Not only just being a coach, but putting something together like this. If I didn't thank them, that would be foolish of me. So, and I'm sure Billy's the same way. My wife, Allie, and my daughter, Finley. Finley's out there on the mound with me doing the first pitch and everything. And I have two 4-year-old boys that'll be out there with me one day too, Camden and Lincoln. So I promised them that I would give them a little shout out tonight, because they're really without them and without the support of our staff, it would be nearly impossible.
And the sponsorships have been fantastic as well. So there's a lot of business owners, people that are tied into the community that are out there. We saw quite the list during the introduction of people that have already stepped up, but guys, there are still sponsorships that are available, correct?
Oh, absolutely. We really have a good foundation of people that have, even some more businesses have been in from day one. Some have joined just recently. We have, just a great group of businesses, small and large, and that really is a testament to the community that we're in.
So this year, our Grand Slam sponsor is going to be Joe Bunting of Bunting Pharmacy. But with a little twist to it, Joe's starting. He's the president, CEO, whatever you want to refer to him as, of a new summer baseball league coming. It's called the South Jersey South Shore Baseball League, a little bit of a kind of a nod to the South Shore League of a decade ago.
I won a championship in that league.
You're a former South Shore League champion?
Oh, yeah. Summers Point Gamblers, man. Gary Haig, head coach. Kind of. You weren't allowed to be a coach in that league, but he was like in the bleachers.
Well, Mike's a legend in so many different ways nowadays,
So Joe's gotten behind it. He's been he was with us 2 years ago when we had the event. He's back with us this year. So it's great to have his support. And then as you saw with the intro, with the barbershop joining us this year, Atlantic Care has been great to us. The guys from BPC and Kincannon with the law firm has been fantastic as well.
Yep. Yeah, we one of my best friends growing up, he's a lawyer, and he does a lot of the legwork for us. So, we're in good hands. We're in good hands with those guys.
So one of the big differences this year, and we're really looking forward to it, if you're a sponsor, you're out there, we're going to be broadcasting all 10 games on This Week in Baseball South Jersey, right over there on Twitter, BFA Live Sports. And we're actually doing a deal in partnership with 97.3 ESPN. So we're going to have coverage like we've never seen before for this particular event. It's been now, feels like forever before we've played ball. We got a bunch of coaches in the bullpen. We're going to hear from all the coaches as we unveil the schedule. You guys have really outdone yourselves in terms of the crop of talent that we're going to see that's going to be out there. But for right now, talk about shout outs. My brother from another, Al Fisher, he's on assignment tonight, but we thought it was pretty important for those of you guys salivating to see what high school baseball might look like from we'll call it a live stream television coverage standpoint. So why don't we give all the coaches something to look forward to, and for all the players that are watching. So stand by, and then we'll be right back.
You can't have now.
They had to change the menu because I was there. Oh, nice shot to center field, but right at the center fielder, actually taking him over his head. Cesarini can put a charge in that one. He's rounding second, heading to third. Now he's going to get there easily with a stand-up triple. Boy, oh boy, what a shot that was. That ball jumped off the bat. Let's see this one again.
Yeah, he crushed this one. Whoop. Dead center field, deepest part of the park for sure. And as soon as he hit it, he was just out of the box. You're going to see the ball deep. Just gets over the outstretched head of the center fielder, and he's on his horse, man. Watch him fly here.
Nice shot, too, by our camera folks, man. That's the job by Cody. Using his legs. And a 1-1 pitch.
All right, so we're back. So just a little snippet. So not your average baseball broadcast, but by all means, for those people that are looking to step up. So an extra bonus for you sponsors from a business standpoint. If you're looking to step up, you're willing to support Coaches versus Cancer, your business will be featured on all the broadcasts, just like the other businesses that have stepped up. But speaking of stepping up, Mike, we're going to meet some coaches, and we're going to roll out the schedule because, guys, this is a big secret. No one actually knows publicly what the schedule is.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some of the coaches because, as you mentioned, they haven't coached the game in a while, so I'm sure they're chomping at the bit. But the first guy we're going to bring in is from this matchup. It's going to be Ocean City against Bishop Eustace, and we're going to bring Andrew Bristol in first. I think the only person who has more pitching than Ocean City is probably the Dodgers. So we'll talk about – we'll start off with that with Coach Bristol and how excited he is to be a part of this, knowing, you're going to have to figure out which guy you're going to pitch in this tournament. I know they're all probably dying to get that call.
Oh, they are chomping at the bit. I mean, they've been waiting for, well over a year to get this staff together. And they all want it. They all want the ball. So maybe I'll just throw it in the middle of the field the day before, and whoever's the fastest, I'll put my money on Gannon Brady. He probably will get the ball. But we'll see. We'll see how we play it out.
Well, we see Tommy Finnegan. He's jumping out of the gym for the Red Raiders. So,
I'm an assistant basketball coach, so I get to see those guys every day. And he's looking good, isn't he? He's strong, looking very strong.
Obviously, no games last year, but you have a very experienced team coming back who missed the year. But just give us a quick little synopsis on what you think you're going to see from the Red Raiders, who the program has been obviously one of the top in the area for over a decade now.
Yeah, I was lucky. I was fortunate enough to be handed that by Coach Mensinger, who was a legend at our school. I have a great staff who I give all the credit to. I just kind of facilitate. I'm a pretty lucky guy with that. But we have a very big senior team, but a lot of these seniors didn't get the experience that they thought they could get last year. So we didn't graduate too many from last year. So these seniors who are going to take the field this year are some of them are going to be the first time they're really getting quality varsity at bats. But our pitching staff, like you said, we're pretty loaded. We have Matt Noonan on the mound. He's going to pitch at Boston College. You have Gannon Brady on the mound, who's going to Fordham. You have Tommy Finnegan, who's a junior, who's going to Vanderbilt, and then I have some young good arms in Duke McCarron, who's committed to Maryland, and Dante Eduarde, who's another young kid who's still looking at some big schools. Then you have James Mancini, who's also a senior, who's looking at some big schools also. So I'll back.
Talk about a match right out of the gate with some serious guests. I guess it's only right that we bring in Coach Sam Tropiano, who's got a couple of flamethrowers in his own stable. So, Coach, it's been a while, and a guy like you, that's really saying something.
It's been trying, but it's going to be fun in a couple months.
So, Coach, your guys are ready to go. I know last year Salamito was a kid that you were looking to hope to dazzle and get him out on the hill. Without tipping your proverbial hand, I mean, is there a chance we're going to see him in this opening matchup on the Friday, April 23rd?
We'll see how things shake out. We open up with some league games early, and then we're also part of another tournament the next day in Audubon with the Shaw. So, and then we have another league game on Monday. So we'll have to sort it out a little bit, but there's a good chance Anthony might be on the hill that night.
All right, great. So, Coach, some of the other guys that we may have not had an opportunity to see, traditionally you always seem to have one or two underclassmen that have really stepped up their game and find their way on the field. And I think of the Conklins of the world. So who's your Chase Conklin this year?
This is very much a senior-laden team. Besides Anthony on the hill, we have Joe Maschio, a left-hander who's going to St. John's. And we have Dan Kerr, who's another senior right-hander going to Rutgers. And Tyler Griswold, another senior right-hander going to Immaculata. And we also have a couple young puppies in Jack Kirshner and Matty Augustin. So our pitching staff is in good shape. So this will be a great matchup.
All right. So, Coach Bristol, I got a special message for you. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Frankie Wright, also known as Frankie Dots. EHT has some good pitching. He says they're going to come and beat you. What do you think?
I like the attitude. EHT is a great program. I would if Frank Wright came and you asked him and he said we're going to lose to him, he wouldn't be where he is right now. So he's one of the top players in the league. He got there with his attitude and with his positivity. And so, we say, bring it. We'll be ready. We look forward to that game every time.
So right out of the gate, Mike Gill, I got a lot of pent-up, just raring and ready to go from the Cape Atlantic Leaguers.
Well, nobody's played a game in so long in any league, at the high school level. I know a lot of these kids have been playing, outside in leagues, so they have got a chance to play, but not where, it really gets the bragging rights. And obviously this tournament gives a great opportunity for the two leagues to kind of get together and use those bragging rights. But I see them firing out early, Coach Bristol. I like that.
All right, so it's game one. It's already there. It's ready to go. It's going to be 4 o'clock Friday, April 23rd over in the great state of Summers Point. Over by the firehouse. So, gentlemen, a lot of pressure. I mean, you guys get to lead it off. So every time you fill out that lineup card, batting leadoff is no easy task. But we appreciate you guys taking some time and joining us and hanging with us during that technical delay.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to this. I want to thank Billy and Mike. They always, class performance with everything, and this is just something we really look forward to. And a coach. Of course, coaching against a coach like Sam, who's just one of the best, it's an honor. So
thanks for having
thank
on,
you.
fella.
Thanks,
All right.
coaches. Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon. All right. So first game right out of the chute, and well, I guess we don't have to go too far to talk to the coaching staff of our next matchup. So let's take a look. Game number 2, 7 o'clock under the lights. We probably are all going to have the first question, so we'll probably ask the obvious one, but let's make sure we get it up on the screen. And that's right, the host Mainland Mustangs versus the Cherokee Chiefs. So this one is going to be quite the good one. And lo and behold, we have the head coach of the Chiefs who's also going to be joining us here. And so let's welcome to the show, Coach. How's it going, Mark? Petricani.
Nice to meet you guys.
I always get that wrong, Mark.
Yeah, G silent. It's an Italian thing.
Hey, yeah. Well, I can hear my brother from there, Al Fisher, screaming at me, "You idiot!" All right, so Coach, welcome. Thanks for hanging with us. And
No problem.
Well, you know, you were the guys last year that candidly, I know for us, we had you really kind of high anticipation. You were a young team the year before coming into it, had a lot of guys really lined up, got a couple of really good kids already committed, headed to college. So tell us about what you're looking forward to here in 2021.
We, as a program, we can't wait to get back on the field. We had the limited opportunity in the last dance this summer, and it was our whole JV and varsity team signed up to be part of that, which was just a fantastic experience for them, especially to have the seniors go out the way they did, winning a few games and, running into a tough Eustace team and folding in 100-degree heat. But the kids coming back, can't wait to get on the field. It seems like pitching is really strong in South Jersey this year. And, I'm confident that our staff will be able to compete with any of the staffs out there. It's fun to hear about all the commitments that the kids have and all the opportunities they're going to get at the next level.
Yeah, you talk about one of the things about this tournament that is unique, that how many high school baseball games are played under the lights. I know Mainland does play a game or two, they try a year, but the opportunity to get a night game for these guys and possibly, as you mentioned, one of the top pitching matchups that could potentially be put together in this tournament.
Well, yeah, if there's a certain kid throwing against us, it would be I'm sure the scouts would be out in spades for that one, regardless of what time it started.
That is the magic question, Mike Gill, and the obvious one. So, Coach.
The coach is sitting right here. You can ask him.
So, Billy Kern, are we going to see Chase Petty? Inquiring minds want to know.
I don't think we should tell Mark, though.
No, hey, we would love to see him, but I might kick myself for saying that, but we would love to get an opportunity to see him. That's for sure.
Kind of like Coach Trope said, we have some pretty big matchups earlier that week. Holy Spirit, who's obviously going to be a top 5 team in South Jersey that week, and Cedar Creek the day before. So we have a pretty nice schedule that week. That's our 4th game of the week with Cherokee, and you never know what happens with weather and with things like that. So if there's the opportunity, and kind of what we say whenever everyone asks us what we're going to do with him this year, when it's his turn to throw, he'll throw it.
Well,
and it's his turn.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, guy like Kyle Gerace a couple of years ago. It's like sometimes you almost have to pick your spots when and how. Are you going to use him to close as opposed to be a starter? Use him in that role. You're trying to also think about their future. So it's not like, hey, I'm going to ride this guy for 7 innings every time he has 7 innings available. You got to be the coaches have to balance that.
Yeah, the nice thing with him, he's a baseball player first. He's going to be a guy probably this year we fight more about when it's time for him to finish more than it's time for him to go out there. He's going to want to go play the field. He's going to want to bat. He's a baseball player that happens to be fantastic on the mound, which is nice. And we have a lot of great pieces to our team. We're a fairly old team. I have 8 seniors. I have 4 though that have been playing at the varsity level for a long time. Chase and Mark Elliott and Brody Levin and Clayton Sands have been starting for us and doing a great job for us, and they're great leaders to go along with Alex Gigian and Luke Sharp and Tommy McGowan and Armand Rante. Some of these seniors who, like the coaches have said, just missed that junior year that was to get their experience to compete this year. So there'll be some guys coming out ready to win jobs in the spring, and I really like my team. I know Coach is excited, and if it happens to be one of those great pitching matchups. We look forward to it, and I think we'll get a great crowd Friday night in Summers Point.
All right. Well, I'm thinking.
I just know that the kids probably would rather pitch under the lights. It's harder to hit at night.
I'm with you. And I also think maybe a potential fundraiser would be, let people maybe throw 10, 20 bucks up and try to maybe hit BP off of Chase. I think there'd be a lot of takers on that. I know I would take them up on it. I've known Chase since the time he was running around Millville. So somewhere one of your board members, Dan Fimiani, is probably whining still about the fact that Chase ended up in a Mainland Mustang uniform. But that's a whole nother show. So
there you go.
Listen, Coach, we really appreciate you hopping in and spending some time with us and joining the cause here.
Thank you guys for having me. Billy, Mike, thank you guys for putting on such a wonderful tournament. Mike, you can always count on us to be part of it. We'll ride with you as long as it goes. So
Mark,
thank you guys.
Appreciate you being around, man. You've been in it from day one, so we love the support, buddy. It's great seeing you again.
Anytime. Yep. Can't wait till April.
All right. Cherokee in the house. First game's going to be under the lights. So, Mike, I think that moves us on to Saturday already. And you talk about some of the traditional matchups that have been in this tournament, guys. This has been one that's on deck right now that we've seen for quite some time. And a lot of locals, listen, there's a different kind of bragging rights, and two guys that really like to get after each other and have a good time. They're going to be our next guest here. So, Mike, it's the Bridgeton Bulldogs versus your AC Vikings.
Yeah, and this game, I love watching Coach Bean, and, this is a feeder program that I coach for him. And unfortunately, Coach, I don't get a lot of kids anymore. As you know, that district is losing kids left and right. But what we get, he does a great job with what ends up coming to Atlantic City. And I don't know that program could be in any better hands. Somebody like Coach Bean running the Atlantic City. It's a tough place to be the coach for that sport, but you've done a great job there. And, of course, Mike is in a similar boat where the stories about Bridgeton and what Mike has done with Bridgeton is fantastic. So it's always fun to get out there and watch these guys compete against each other. But, Coach, I know this, knowing a lot of your kids very well, just seeing where this kind of state of where you guys were, because I know last year, might have been a challenging year with everything that's going on. But where are you guys at this point now after taking last year off?
Well, I think for me personally, first off, it's great to see everybody. Great to see Mike and Bill and Gil and Doug. Thanks for all the kind words and everything else, guys. But you know what, to kind of tell you, I would like to say just go from last year. I was hoping our team was going to take another step forward. We had a lot of guys returning who had varsity experience. And I really thought last year was going to be a chance for us to really take a stepping stone up. One of the good things about it is we only graduated 4 of those players. So I am kind of really looking forward for this year to kind of really take our team hopefully to the next level and possibly break through into the playoffs. Because the one good thing about the Coaches vs. Cancer tournament, and I'm sure Coach Varela will tell you, it's fun playing each other. We both have very similar demographics and socioeconomic players and everything else. And we kind of get after each other a little bit. We talk a little trash to each other in the dugouts and whatnot, and we'll yell back and forth at each other. Because I know Coach beat me in 2019 in the CVC, and I got something coming for him this year. That's for sure. I ain't even trying to hide it, Mike. I'm coming after you this year, pal.
So I got to tell you, Mike Villela, he's the one guy. You talk about a coach that coaches to the last pitch. I've seen this firsthand, right? So truth be told, picking runners off at third base, bases loaded, anything he's got to do to get out of an out, man. You got these guys coached up, and they're sharp, Coach.
Well, listen, so 2 years ago in 2019, we played Atlantic City twice, and they got us on their field on a walk-off in the bottom of the 7th, 4-3. And then, as Brent said, I had Nelson Martinez, all-conference first-team player. He did his best Babe Ruth impersonation and threw six innings, hit a home run down there in Mainland, and it was a phenomenal day for him and and for our program to be a part of that. That was one of our 5 wins that year, and we were so thrilled to be a part of that event and then and to win 5 games that year. But to bring a little levity to it, we are coming after Bean as well too. We want to put a good performance out there, but I always feel like Edwards always sticks us in this Saturday morning, Sunday morning game. It's almost like the NCAA Tuesday play-in game between Prairie View and North Dakota State or something like that. And and listen, Billy Kern, I got something for you too. You're talking about your opening week schedule. You didn't mention your opening game against us. I mean, I certainly would think we would be in the running to see him Petty that first game. I mean, he said Cedar Creek. He didn't even mention Bridgeton.
You're pretty forgettable, Mike.
Well, I like it. I mean, what's
Absolutely.
Honestly, Mike, I've been dealing with Normaine for the last week or two, straightening out when we're playing them. I didn't even look before that day. Steve moved our game from Wednesday to Tuesday. I was trying to help him out, and yes, you are a part of our 4 games this week. That week, I should say. It is opening day. Is it at your place?
It's at your place.
My place?
I think, yeah. It'll be bulletin board material up in Cumberland County.
They've got a nice field.
Yeah,
They got a great field.
Don't try to get anything
field
past
in all of
pro.
South Jersey. I mean, both of you guys have envious fields, man. You got nice turf, and then you got the legendary field where the Babe Ruth World Series was born. You know, Coach, not a lot of people know that that's what Bridgeton. That's why they built Alden Field to host the
Absolutely.
World Series, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And look at this. I mean, look at Villela's background. He's already competing. He's like, yeah, I'm going to have the best
He's ready.
background out of everybody.
He's ready.
tonight.
But I tell you what, though, I got something coming for him this year. I got a couple kids right now that are going to shove it right up to him this year.
I mean, listen, when we played them 2 years ago down there, there was a questionable bunt call at home plate, and Bean was complaining for 3 innings. He's complaining, this, that, and the third thing. And you got to let it go, man. You got to let the action on the field take place.
Don't worry. Hey, I got a couple guys this year coming up, and I know Coach Gill knows some of these kids.
Bean's pretty emotional. I've coached JV girls basketball against him, watched him fire a clipboard across the court. So he can have his emotions get the best of him. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, Pete, if you got kids coming up, they don't live in Brigantine, Ventnor, Margate, or Atlantic City because I haven't seen them. I don't know where you're getting.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. I tell you what, I got a couple. One kid I'm really high on this year. Hasn't played a single inning of varsity baseball because of injury and being a young kid. Ryan Master. Ryan Master is a kid that I'm really high on this year. He's going to have a tremendous season for us. He's been working hard on the offseason, been in communication with him. I'm really looking forward to Ryan Master. And we actually got a transfer from Pleasantville with Adonis Diaz. Looking forward to him to really kind of contributing to us. He was a varsity player at Pleasantville. And, hey, who doesn't want their high school quarterback to play baseball for him?
100%.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So Eric Strecker is our quarterback at Atlantic City High School. He's going to be playing baseball for us, along with our starting running back, Anthony Totoro. We got a lot of guys that we are excited about this year. And as you can see, like I said to you, Mike, I'm coming after you, bro. I can't wait for it.
Well, you guys got some kind words. So Coach Roy Hallenbeck of Coaches versus Cancer and obviously Millville High School fame. So 2 legends right there, tip of the cap to Coach Bean and Coach Villela. Coach Hallenbeck, we hope you are doing well. Really help us set the bar quite high here. And some love, Coach. Your buddy Eddie Charlton. Look at him, Brent Bean. What a man. So the love just keeps on coming over here.
Eddie Charlton is one sexy mother humper. He is one sexy dude.
All right. Well, listen, fellas, we greatly appreciate you taking some time hanging out here with us. Looking forward to seeing you guys out on the field. And, hey, best of luck, and can't wait to see you soon.
All right. Thanks
so much,
guys. Look forward to seeing you at the tournament.
Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for everything you do.
Michael, great seeing you, buddy.
All right. So the Atlantic City and Bridgeton Bulldog crew. Man, I'll tell you, these guys get after it, Gil.
Yeah, they're fired up.
Yeah, I came out to watch AC, I think Cedar Creek a couple of years ago, that early morning breathe. That's a game worth getting up and starting the whole day off. I like it.
Oh, yeah. So next team's up here on deck. So a guy that has had to wait a whole year to actually get into his new uniform. So I think Joe Smith is actually here live and in the house. So I'm going to say, Mike, I guess we're going to have Coach slide through or hand him the headset over there. Maybe that works. I see Coach Normaine, he's hanging out. Oh, and I'm sorry. So we got Holy Spirit on deck. That's why Coach Steve Normaine is sitting here right out of frame. So, Mike, let's hand over the headset. And, well, we're kind of tipping our hand a little bit here. And who else? Holy Spirit versus Don Bosco Prep. What would a tournament be without a holy war, Mike Gill?
Got to have it. And Coach Jermaine's back, and he's actually in the building with us here. And as we all mentioned, everybody kind of lost that year, and I'm sure your team looks a lot different, though, than the team from last year. There's the school's open, so people are like, hey, I want to get in the building. It seems like that helped you out a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we're in school 5 days a week, and it hasn't hurt us. There's a lot of kids who can't do virtual learning and are looking for better options. So we've been fortunate, for a school as a whole, to get some kids in.
Yeah, and obviously, it's added to the talent base that you guys have there. You don't need to be shy. Give us a little insight on what the Spartans how they might look a little differently this year than the team that you would have had last year.
So we have a good core of guys returning, a huge senior class, and we were fortunate enough to add 2 senior transfers, actually 3. We got 2 kids from St. Joe's Academy, Samson Gerner and Jaden Chertel, and then David Hageman came over from Cedar Creek. So, our team, which was projected to be, I think, very good, got a lot better with those guys.
And some of the other returners that are not coming to the school, I'm sure that you're excited about some of the guys that you would have had last year as well that are now going to get a chance to get out there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we have a solid lineup. Some seniors, some senior football players, CJ Eggery, junior quarterback Trevor Cohen, coming back as outfield starters. Shane Solari committed to Villanova, another outfield starter. We're excited. Stephen Petrosh has been a 4-year starter at shortstop for us. So, we're excited with what we have. We have a couple guys ready to crack the lineup who probably nobody's really heard of yet. So we're happy. The outlook's high.
That's why Bean can't get anybody. He keeps stealing them all.
Well,
Ventnor, Brigantine. They're all going off to the island.
I don't know anything.
Well, as a Spartan alum, I don't really, it doesn't bother me too much. I like to see a Fab Four for you coming off from the mound. I mean, you guys have your schedule, though, right out of the gate, Coach. That's an eye-opener. Like some people that may have not looked at the schedule, I know we have Coach Rooney here from Don Bosco Preps. We're going to bring him in a second. And he's obviously got the longest commute for the Coaches versus Cancer Classic. So, Coach Rooney, welcome.
How are you?
Fantastic. So, Coach, tell us a little bit about Don Bosco Prep. I've been up there more than a few times. What an unbelievable facility that you guys have. By far one of the nicest fields there up in North Jersey. So you're coming down in South Jersey to become part of the Coaches versus Cancer Classic. So, Coach, give us a taste of why.
I think you just want to be associated with the best. And I think that the tournament speaks for itself. And then the level of competition, the level of teams that play in this really speaks volumes. And, it's a bit of a ride, but as I said, it's something that we want to be associated with. It's something that we feel like we can compete in. And we're just looking forward to starting the first trip of many, hopefully.
Well, it's some top flight baseball, Coach. For those of us down in South Jersey, maybe not familiar with some of the guys at the top of your rotation, you have two of TJ Hunt from PBR New Jersey, some of his favorite guys. So talk to us a little bit about maybe, without tipping your hand, I mean, I know Coach here is going to be, is it game 3, Coach Normain?
Game 4. Yeah.
Game 4. So you're going to be getting number 4. Is this going to be your second game, I believe, looking at the schedule?
I don't have the schedule in front of me, to be honest with you, so I'm not sure.
Okay. So,
but even if it was my first or second game, I got to be honest with you, I wouldn't know who we would throw. I mean, I'm sitting here in February staring at snow, trying to fight seasonal depression. So, I mean, to be very honest with you, it's a little bit down the road. There's a lot of bullpens, and there are a lot of days making sure your pitchers are still feeling well before we really commit to something. But we have some good pitchers. We have some kids that can do a pretty good job for us. We have Kevin Jaxel and Caden Dana are top end guys in our rotation. We have Zach Stitchway. Clayton Poley is another really, really good arm that we're happy to have in the program. And then we have a couple of seniors on the mound that are going to give us some good leadership and give us some quality innings throughout the year as well.
Awesome. Well, again, we're really looking forward to having Don Bosco Prep as part of the tournament. And back over to you, Coach Kern, you you went out of your way to make sure that Don Bosco Prep was in this tournament because you want the best of the best.
So we had a nice connection between Don Bosco and our baseball program. George Iskandarian put me and Coach Rooney in contact, and we were talking back and forth about meeting up at some point down the road in the season. Don Bosco and Mainland will be playing each other in May on a Sunday, and to be determined. And if it means we're heading up to Don Bosco, that's okay. And he was gracious enough to kind of as our return favor come down and play in our event. And we were fortunate enough to match him up with Steve's team, who is obviously going to be a top 5 team. So we're hoping for right out of the gate that Saturday morning, a fantastic matchup.
Yeah, and so you're getting some love notes from Mike Bucaferni.
Oh, my former assistant.
Yeah, Norm, the GOAT,
Yeah.
he says, the GOAT. So
Yeah, well, he likes me. I paid him off to say that. It's probably him cooking sausage and peppers or something.
Oh, man, really good stuff. Well, listen, Coach Rooney, we really appreciate you taking the time hanging here with us to talk a little bit about this awesome event. We're looking forward to having you down here in South Jersey, and looks like just hopefully the snow starts to fade, but you guys with that beautiful turf field, I guess you'll be out there probably a heck of a lot earlier than most of us, hopefully.
Yeah, as soon as we can see it, we'll be on it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks for having on, Coach.
All right. So, Steve Normain, a busy week for you over in Spartanland. I mean, not to jump into the football scene, but you got a Vandy commit. Everybody want to know where Cheeks was going.
Yeah, he picked Vandy. We couldn't be prouder of him. It's a great choice, great kid. He'll do great there.
All right. Well, listen, man, we appreciate you hanging with us, too. We know that you'll never hesitate to jump out to Charlie's here for their wings, tenders.
I'm just here for the wings.
And we believe it. All right, Coach Normain, Steve Normain joining us in the building. And, Mike, we continue to stroll along. And we got another in-person coach, another guy that craves the wings and the tails here. So, Mike Edwards, maybe it'll be a great time to give a shout-out to our friends here at Charlie's because these guys have stepped up for us.
Absolutely. Jeff and Jimmy have been so good to our program for so long. And then, obviously, Jack's was one of the biggest benefactors in this community for a long time. So to be gracious enough to host this event, and Jeff has kids in the school, and Jimmy as well.
That makes me feel old, by the way.
We'll have his kids coming through. So they do so much great work for the community. So we're so appreciative of Charlie's.
All right, fantastic, and we're gonna move right along here. So our next matchup, Mike Gill, you're probably better at reading than I am. So let me make sure I find the right slide here.
Yeah, I got in front of me, if you're going off my sheet, Delsea, Coach Joe Smith is here, and Lenape, they will match up in the game after Holy Spirit and Don Bosco. And I do have a little history myself playing against Delsea in a playoff game in like 1995. Nice. Probably nobody else here was born that's actually going to play in any of these games, but always a tough program. And, of course, Lenape, anytime you get two teams from that area, what do you got?
Dude, it's unbelievable. I've seen Lenape. It doesn't matter what year. They always talk about, sometimes teams get an off year. I've yet to see one from Lenape, but, Coach Waz, you got some big shoes to fill. I mean, you got a program with a lot of tradition there as you jump into the driver's seat. And, Coach Joe Smith, he's over here. Have you ever had to wait that long to put on a team uniform?
Never.
Oh, my God.
I was so excited to be back, and then all of a sudden we didn't have a season. So
hey, good stuff. So there's going to be a lot of red flying around. So, Coach Waz, how are things been going for you, trying to get adjusted?
Things have been great. Real quick, I got to shout out to Billy. When I got the job, I probably emailed Billy right away about getting into the event. It didn't work out, last year, but we worked it out this year, and I can't thank him enough for getting us in. And I got to give a quick 2 shout-outs. My best friend just got out of the hospital, 10 days of chemo. He's got a cancer with no cure, but to see him fight and how he stays positive, it's inspiring. And a big shout-out to my mom who works with cancer every day. So I got to thank you, Billy, Mike, for letting us in. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, Coach. We're always looking for quality programs like yours. So when the opportunity arose, obviously to have you in is something special. And the stories like that and the connections, I know for Mike especially, why he started this event. So hopefully all the best to your friend and all the great work your mom's doing.
Yeah, man, bless up for sure. So, Coach Smith, over to you. You were chomping at the bit last year to get going. You and I saw each other over the course of the summer. You were all, fired up and ready to go, and you got a pretty good squad that you're not letting many people know about.
Yeah, well, first off, before I start, I'd like to thank Mike and Billy. We've been a part of this for a long time, and it's a great event for our kids to get in and appreciate and understand what's going on. And, we're just fortunate enough to be back in it, playing a tough squad, Lenape. Whenever you play them schools up there, Cherokee, Shawnee, it's going to be a dogfight. But, again, we're just happy to be in it, and we're excited to play.
All right, so Coach Waz, give us a little bit of a heads up on your top of your rotation there, because I know last year you were one of those – you guys had one of those squads that was immediately one of my I would say top 6, top 7 in our What If 64. So what things looking like, guys, coming back this year?
I appreciate that. We're pretty fortunate. We have about 5 sophomores that got a lot of time, and most of them started throughout the year. Kyle Millville, he's going to Elizabethtown. He's a left-handed pitcher. He'll be one of our main guys out there. Jason Bosco is an outfielder, headed to Stevens Institute of Technology. Nick Garagoza, he's still looking for a place to play, but I truly believe he's one of the top players in South Jersey. And then Nick Farr and Tyler Davis were also a part of that core that helped us out. And then junior pitcher Chase Topolsky committed to University of Richmond. He's been up around 88, 89 miles per hour. So we're pretty excited going into this year.
Yeah, they got a sneaky staff, Coach Smith. So I don't know what you have planned for weekend number 1 here, but you're going to have your hands full with the Tribe.
Yeah, hopefully we get to number 5, 6, or 7.
Good stuff. Great stuff. Well, Coach Waz, we really appreciate you taking some time, sharing your, the personal touch and how this has impacted you. This is certainly what the event's all about, and we're looking forward to – you guys have a little bit of a hike to get down here into the old Linwood area, but, it's really special, and I think it means a lot, says a lot about you. If the first call, once you got into the reins, that you wanted to be a part of this tournament, have your kids a part of it because you really embrace and understand what it's all about. I mean, tip of the cap to you. It's tremendously admirable.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Can't wait. Looking forward to it.
All right. So the Lenape Tribe, they'll be coming on down here, and they're after you, Coach. Man, they're after you.
I know they are.
All right.
Okay.
And it's an interesting, just a real quick, as coaches, that this tournament is so early in the season. It's like a lot of times you get these after you've figured out who you are a little bit. That's got to make it a little bit more challenging to have it so early.
Yeah, exactly. And it's my first year back at Delsea, so it's almost like it's new. I don't know who our staff's going to be, or
and that's the thing. There's a lot of new faces, right? So I mean, you had to wait a full year, but this is your first year at the helm, back in the red. And for Coach Waz, first year here. But a lot of the guys we're talking to, it's like I know Coach Speller of NBC 10 fame from Cherry Hill East. He's sitting there waiting in the wings. There's a lot of guys. I mean, return of Coach Barth. I'm looking at the bullpen. I got news for him. For a coaching bullpen from my broadcast window, Mike Gill, look at these guys from all the coaching staff that we have to pick from. I mean, you talk about guys that are shaping minds. You got to feel actually – I mean, no disrespect, but you guys got to feel pretty young. I mean, Bill, you're like a kid, dude. Did they like actually check your ID when they take you out for a beer after the game?
This is actually Coach Gill here was asking me before. This is actually my 10th season coming up here. So I don't feel as young, but amongst some of these guys who have far more experience, obviously it's always good conversations, always good to learn. I played for Coach Smith in the Carpenter Cup in 2003.
That tells you how old I am.
Long time ago.
All right. You learn something every day.
At Veteran Stadium when I was there.
Yeah.
So I've known Joe a long time and coached against
How old
him
were you
in
at
a lot
that
of
time?
games.
At that time, what year was that?
2003.
I can't do math this quick, but I was probably late 20s.
So we've
Early
coached,
30s.
Mike and I have coached against Joe at Vineland and South and Williamstown. He's had success everywhere he's went, so it's nice to see him back at Delsea, and I'm sure they'll be successful and probably a nightmare for us in Group 3 in no time.
All right. Well, listen, Coach Smith, Coach Waz, we appreciate you guys dropping in here at Charlie's. I know Coach Smith will go way out of his way to have the details over here. So Coach
All right,
Waz,
thanks.
when you're in the neighborhood for the tournament, you got to make sure you stop by here, all right?
I'm frequent down in Brigantine.
Okay.
Absolutely, not too far.
All right, thanwant
I
appreciate
it, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. All right, Coach Waz, Coach Smith, moving right along. And you want to talk about impressive? I actually see Coach Mike Bailone in the bullpen on video. He's a guy that has embraced technology. That's a big step for him. So we're waiting to see Coach. He'll be on deck in just a little while. But for right now, the other guy that I see who's waiting here, Mike Gill, he has a tissue box in his hand. You want to try to guess why?
Do I want to try to guess why he has a tissue box in his hand?
Yeah, he coaches the team on the left.
I got that. Dan Fimiami at Millville is taking on Cherry Hill East in this one, and you're going to have to bring up to light why there would be a tissue box, because we just had this big conversation about how you can't use a tissue. You just go straight like toilet paper or something. Buying a tissue is no good.
Well, he's the one wondering why he doesn't still have Chase Petty throwing for him in week 1 of the big tournament. So, listen, not only that, but then he looks up and then he's got to coach against Jason Speller, who comes back, and he has all of Cherry Hill like riding through town on horses because they're so fired up about Cougar baseball again. It's unbelievable. So, Coach Fim, Coach Spell, good to see you guys. Thanks for hanging in there. I know, Coach Fim, it's a little late for you. It's probably past your bedtime, but that's okay. So, guys, what are you thinking? You see this matchup on paper right out of the gate. That'll wake you up. So Coach Spell, we'll go to you since you're the rookie, even though Vianney hasn't put on his uniform yet.
I mean, going into the matchup, but one of the things that I filled in for Coach Martin, who's a legendary coach who's been in South Jersey forever. And one of the things he made sure that I came in, one of the things he said was, make sure that every year, I don't care what you do, every year you must play Millville. So it was one of those things that we had to put on the schedule and that we try to continue doing every single year. They're a great program. It gives us a good challenge and a good opportunity to go out there and play against some of the best talent in South Jersey.
Well, that's outstanding. And Coach, always great that I can have fun with you. I know you and your buddy Harry Rodriguez, one of your assistant staff, since you guys always take shots at me. Since I finally have the mic, I mean, why not? I'll take them right at you guys for once. But you got to be like a kid at Christmas, man. I mean, you set a New Jersey record for longest time you've had to wait to actually coach your first game after being named the coach.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been excited to get going, get started. Obviously, last year got halted pretty quickly. But before all that, a little bit about for the tournament for me, Mike and Billy. I really appreciate kind of the welcoming hands that you've lended out to me. Mike, when this little backstory, when I was at Millville the first time around in 2015, Mike kind of said, hey, we got this event, and I don't even think he got the rest of the words out. I just pretty much told him, I'm in, man, whatever you need. And I don't know how much he believed when I said that, but I think from now kind of got it that this event is something that is near and dear to my heart. I know how near and dear it is to Mike's heart, and everybody that's a part of it. And now that it's at Mainland, Billy and Hats and Mr. Gatley, everybody at Mainland's been absolutely outstanding. The community around it is something that I hadn't seen before, and it's pretty special. I'm fortunate enough to be on the board there with these guys, so I know them well. But the event is extremely important, to everybody around, and with everybody that we have on the board, with Ed Charlton, Mike Adams, and Brent Bean now jumping on board. It's really special, and it's something that's only getting bigger and better. You see with all these coaches and teams that are in our event now, and it's amazing. So when you tell me get to match up against Cherry Hill East, I know when Roy Hallenbeck was at the helm here, I know he and Coach Martin had a close relationship, and they played every year. So that's definitely a welcome matchup that I look forward to every single season to keep that tradition going.
So, Coach Spell, how much of an adjustment now has it been for you? So it's interesting, Coach Fim, he's been around the kids for a little bit of over a year and then some, because he's trained a lot of them as they're younger. For you, kind of coming back into the mix, how's it been trying to get yourself up to speed with the guys that you have on the roster?
Oh, it's definitely been an experience. I mean, just kind of being out of school, and then we're on a hybrid model, so just not being able to see the kids every single week like we normally be able to do, and kind of build that chemistry as much as possible. It makes it a little bit difficult, but we find other ways to spend time together as a team, to talk, to just kind of get to know each other a little bit more and build that chemistry so that we can be the best team that we can be come springtime. But just in general, I think we have a very good team. We have a bunch of seniors that are really looking to contribute this year. I think we have about 11 seniors in our program, and a bunch of pretty good juniors as well. Obviously, missing last year, it kind of puts a damper on for everybody. It makes it a little bit hard. I think everybody coming into this season, you're going to find a lot of teams that doesn't have a ton of varsity experience. We're one of those situations. We don't have a ton of varsity experience, but at the same time, we had a really good run 2 years ago, and we have 4 kids who were sophomores at the time that were able to kind of step in and help us out on that run. So we're going to rely on them heavily this year and hope they can, lead the way for us.
Coach Phim, I want to ask you real quick because Coach Speller had mentioned that, hey, when he got this, they said you want to play programs like Millville. How, coming back and how has being a coach at Millville and being a part of that Millville baseball program is special. I mean, how you guys kind of keep that excitement and energy at that program there and what it means to be the head coach now at Millville. It seems that, Coach Roy was there, my God, for so long to keep that energy at that program is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's definitely something. I was very fortunate to come into a program kind of like Billy said a little bit earlier about Mainland. It was an established program. It's not something that's like a rebuild in any way, shape, or form. And I think my favorite part about it is the kids. Millville's a very prideful city. There's a lot that goes into it at the youth levels with the Babe Ruth League and the Little League. So it definitely is something that is prideful. And for me, I like seeing the kids get excited about competing. Just like every other coach would want to see, the kids step in between the lines and start to compete. For me, for Millville, I don't know. Still to the day, I don't know what it exactly is. I just know for me, Millville, when I was there the first time around, I coached baseball and football. And from Jump Street, it was very welcoming for me, with the both football and baseball staff. And when I came back around the second time, I kind of just walked in and it still felt like home. And I don't know what it is. I don't live very far away, but I just have this feel that, it just feels like it's the right place to be for me.
Yeah, well, you guys are the battle that I'm probably looking forward to the most. So when I make the broadcasting schedule, I'm going to make sure that I'm behind the microphone at least. So if I have to fight my brother from another Al Fisher, then that's what it's got to be, because I really kind of feel like you guys got that young stable of guys, up and comers, a roster with a pretty good handful of kids that, it's going to be their coming out party this year. So I'm really excited for you guys, and I look forward to the fireworks you guys are going to bring to the party here at the Coaches versus Cancer Classic.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Cherry East Cougars, the Millville Thunderbolts.
Thanks for coming on, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Real quick about Dan Fimiani, and I know Mike will speak to him. I had met him through Mike, and as he said, he's on our Coaches vs. Cancer board, but that's a guy that he's at Mike's house for the entire weekend. He's doing the fields at 5 a.m. with us. He's going to probably do the same thing this year, and then coach's game later in the day. So he puts everything into what our event is, and he's a huge part of the success of it. So we appreciate you being involved, Fim.
Class act, Coach. Tip of the cap, buddy.
I appreciate it. Thanks,
All right.
guys. I'll see you soon.
Dan Fimiani of Millville. All right, and so we are rolling right along in another rivalry game. Man, how do you do it? I mean, really, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at these lineups of who's coming up next, and lo and behold, I mean, I guess you pulled a card. You call your brother, who's the principal at Absegami, and say, "Hey, I need you guys to play a rivalry game," and then you call your buddy Scott Parker, and you set it up, huh?
Nah, I don't like to call in any favors from my brother. I like to let him do his thing. He likes to let me do mine. But Mike DeChico was super gracious for and Coach Flannery. We had originally had a mixed up matchup, and we posed the question to them, hey, would you guys be interested in doing your rivalry game with CVC? And I think they both said yes within 5-10 minutes. So everybody that's been involved in the event.
So Coach DeChico, tell us the truth. I mean, did the principal come and say, "Yo, you're playing this game right out of the gate? Probably gonna be like your second game. Why not throw the rivalry right into the mix?"
No, honestly, with the divisions changing this year within the Cape Atlantic League, I was pretty disappointed not to see, used to playing Mainland twice a year, used to playing Cedar Creek twice a year, used to playing Oakcrest twice a year. Obviously Mainland, there's something there, with me personally, and then from an interdistrict standpoint between us and Oakcrest and us and Cedar Creek. So having the opportunity to play in the Coaches versus Cancer against Cedar Creek is going to be a blast. And no, I didn't reach out to Dan about anything, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You got a nice stable of players coming up in that Galloway area out there. That's where I was born and raised, so I could actually probably throw a baseball onto your field. But I guess I shouldn't tell you that I'm also a Holy Spirit Spartan. That's a whole nother story. But knowing the crop of talent that's out there in Galloway and some of the feeder programs you guys have had, you've really benefited. And a lot of those guys are what we would dub staying home. Instead of some of these guys looking to go, elsewhere, other opportunities. And it's tough because you're in a district too where the education level is now at an all-time kind of high. You have opportunities to go to different programs. So you can go to Cedar Creek. You can go over to Oakcrest based on what you're looking to do in the future. But you got to be pretty excited about the kids that you have.
Absolutely. And, for me, having the opportunity to take over, after Brian Wastell's 20-year run, kind of like what, Coach Fim said with Millville, I wasn't walking into a completely new situation. I was already a part of the program for 3 years. And, Brian afforded me. Yeah. I'm actually at BPC right now, helping out with some younger guys. So I'm upstairs. I knew Ed was going to say something, but
I recognize the cinder block wall.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to shield the names back here, make sure no secret.
Listen, I'm just saying, you would think with Ed and Mike's fame now, they could at least paint a
they're
wall,
big
maybe hang a picture, something.
Well, this is the office.
Is there any heat there for you, Mike?
My hands are a little cold.
Do you have a space heater?
We do. But what were we talking about? I forget. That threw me off.
Well, listen, that's where that's actually where Rocky goes to training to fight Drago.
Exactly.
Now,
But
let me tell you, DeChico and I coached together for a bunch of years. He was my assistant. He was your assistant. Who did you learn more from, Kern or me?
Oh, man, that's a tough call. I learned equally as much from both of you. Mike, I think I was still in college, when I was helping out with A-Shore, and you gave me an opportunity to, really kind of find my voice, I think. For any, 20-year-old that's coaching kids that really aren't that much older than them, it can be a little odd at times. And, I think you gave me the opportunity to just, be myself and try to help the kids out the best way I can. So, I really appreciate you for that, Mike. And Billy, I still remember, when you had asked me to take over the freshman team, I think it was 2015, and, having that group and being a part of, back-to-back South Jersey, Group 3 championship, it was a moment I'll never forget. Dean DeVinny's opposite field home run and Tyler Ray's big double in the semifinal or quarterfinal, I believe. But no, that whole run was so much fun, and I've obviously you mean a lot to me and the whole program. So I want to thank both you guys, for bringing Absegami into this tournament, but also just for me personally.
Yeah, that's something like as he mentioned, as a young guy, you could tell right off the bat that all right, he's going to be moving out of my jurisdiction here pretty quickly, and got gobbled up. But it's great to see the program. That's what it takes sometimes to get when the kids have a decision to make, especially in that district.
Oh, yeah.
Where am I going to go? I want to play because I know they have a guy that I'm excited to play for. And coaching with Mike, and I'm sure you can say the same thing, is the kids are excited to get to play for Mike.
100%. This guy runs around with his hair on fire. Although it's very coiffed right now tonight. I mean, look how riled up he is. Hey, Mike, them. You better look good. I'm surprised that they let you actually wear your own suit. That's what it is. But all good. Listen, Coach DeChico, we really appreciate you jumping in, man. And more importantly, what Mike Billis said, the impression that you're having on this next generation of ball players and being open-minded.
I appreciate it. It's something that I think about every day, and just trying to build this program up to what I think it can be, and my assistant coaches think it can be, and our booster club thinks it can be, and really looking forward to kind of getting back onto the field and being with this younger group of guys. We have 3 seniors, 1 junior, who are all going to be pretty much first-time varsity players, and honestly, that excites me more than anything. And I'm really excited for them to get a taste of the great baseball in South Jersey and the great programs that we're going to play. So very much appreciate you guys having me on.
All right, man. Best of luck to you, Coach. See you out there soon.
All right, guys. See ya.
Apsigami Braves. All right, so guys, the biggest reason that we're having this tournament, although it looks like it's made for TV with matchups after matchup after matchup, it certainly has got to be opportunity to help give back, raise funds, do great things for great people, and take a quick minute for a guy that has a little bit to tell us about why he got involved in this here fine event.
Hi, I'm Mike Cimateo. I'm with Xperia Investments. We've been a proud sponsor of Coaches versus Cancer since the beginning of the event. My brother-in-law and my wife lost their mother at a very young age of 46. And so this event is really near and dear to our heart. Like everybody, right? Everybody's lost somebody close, right?
Exactly.
And I think, we've lost grandparents to it. My father-in-law is in a battle with cancer now. I think all of us are encouraged by the longer outcomes in terms of people being able to live longer, having had a diagnosis. And it's definitely because people have opened up their pocketbooks and continue to support great events like Coaches versus Cancer. So, I think for me and for my family, this one it struck so close to home. We're all about making sure life is better for others and trying to make sure we stomp out cancer, and we love baseball. And so putting the two things together was a great idea. My brother-in-law and Mike Edwards and some other folks came up with years back, and we said we were all in and wanted to support it.
So, Coach Edwards, Mike G there, you guys really, talk about inspiring story and a reason that you guys are kind of really tied at the hip when it comes to taking on this big initiative.
Yeah, Mike, obviously Mike's been on board from day one, being my brother-in-law. He's been just a tremendous supporter. He knew my mom. So this hits home for him. Talking about it just gets me emotional, because it's been so long, yet it seems like not, just yesterday. And then, just having him say the kind words that he said, and knowing that, my dad is also fighting cancer currently, and he's actually staying with Mike and my sister Amy. It's I'm going to be honest, it's a little tough for me to talk about, but seeing him on screen really got to me. So,
well, hey, rightfully so, man. From the time that I first met you, this is for me, this is how I knew you, right? This was the guy that was so passionate about doing the right thing, trying to make other people understand, get involved in the cause, and then it was just one thing after the other. And I think the other part is too, a lot of times when it comes sometimes to doing business, networking and things, people can always kind of think like, hey, maybe I can score something for myself. Maybe I could do this, maybe I could do that. But from the time you were at Millville and there's a guy that's a pretty good baseball player over there, behind the scenes, you were the one that said, hey, this is something really worthwhile. And instead of you, worrying about what kind of cleats and things the team was wearing, it was more about, hey, what can we do to help out and do raffles and raise money? So, like I said, man, you're stellar in my book, and the fact that you got so emotional when it come to your brother-in-law there makes perfect sense.
Yeah, well, again, I appreciate the kind words, and it's so much bigger than myself, and it's so much bigger than these baseball teams. Even though this is our platform, this is just sitting here and listening to these guys. and seeing how passionate they are across the board. It's incredibly humbling because when we conceived this idea, myself and Coach Hallenbeck, we had visions, but this has far surpassed anything that we ever imagined, and I thank him as well. It's tough. It's tough for me to sit here. It's incredibly humbling, and I'm just so moved. So
good stuff. Well, I don't really have a transition. Now, Al Fisher is watching me at home. My brother from another, he's now critiquing me, telling me I just dropped the ball because I couldn't figure out a good segue. So I'm trying to, help you get back onto it, buddy. So let's move on. How about that? We'll go over to Kingsway and Hamilton. So look out. A couple guys that have also been chomping at the bit. New assignments, wearing some new uniforms, and it feels like it's been forever. Let's welcome in Coaches Greg Silvesti and Bill Alvaro. Gentlemen, thanks for hanging in here.
Thanks. No problem, guys.
So, Coach, Bill, we'll start with you. So you got some marquee guys that a lot of people in South Jersey are quite, I guess, frightened, Mike Gill. Would that be appropriate word? Is frightened either when they step into the batter's box or you put a ball in their hand?
Yeah, we have a couple. This is technically, I guess, my second year here at Kingsway. We got shut down last year. Obviously, we were going to be very young. We had only two returning guys, Justin Sestawicki and Ben Mayers, coming back. But we were very excited about the group we had, and we were lucky enough to get in the last dance. And we showed really well. We got into the final round of 16 until we ran into Bishop Eustace team. So it was great to have those guys together for a few weeks, had a couple scrimmages, some practices, and to get to play 5 games together. So we're real excited about the young group that we have coming in this year. So that whole team is really back for us.
Yeah, let's go over to Hamilton because, you look at Hamilton, it's much like when we talked to Millville, very prideful town about their sports, especially baseball. And it's like the anticipation for their football. Every year you got to be good. It's the same with Hamilton baseball. And it's, you look at that town and they say, all right, the Hamilton baseball team has got to be good. So what are we expecting from Hamilton this year?
We got a couple key returners. Jared Beebe's a solid third baseman. Lucas DeStefano at second base. Outside of that, we're going to be very young, and I'm very excited to, see what these young guys can do because they're going to be competing for several spots. Not having a freshman program last year, so I really don't know what to expect. But I know there's talent there, and I'm excited to see them compete for jobs.
Everybody with a vowel in their last name needs you to be good.
That's okay. We'll take it.
Yeah,
well, not everybody, not on that day.
So, Coach, I go back to obviously everybody being on ice last year, but Hamilton really started to kind of come out of your guys' shell with a fury at the end of that 2018 season. And, man, you guys were able to carry the torch 2019. Some of the guys, Gino Saricia, still one of my favorite ball players in all of South Jersey. I know he's moved on, but you guys, you had said it, like BB's another guy. He's ready to keep on the tradition. I guess you could call it that. So talk a little bit about that missed year for you guys. Who were some of these guys that maybe we should have seen last year that suddenly we're going to be like, well, where did this guy come from?
Well, I'm going to start with Jared Beebe, third baseman, probably as a sophomore, the best hitter on our team. Every time he stepped in the plate, that's a guy you think, oh man, he's going to get a key hit here. Lucas DeStefano, second baseman. Same thing, solid glove. So those are the two guys that I'm expecting to carry us. David Humphreys, pitcher, lanky lefty. As long as he throws strikes, big question mark. He's going to be tough to hit. Lefties are tough to hit in high school. And we're really going to rely on those three guys. And I'm just happy we don't have to go to Kingsway. We never play well going there. It's a terrible trip. So.
Well, you said it to us when we went to Hamilton last year, so it was a good split.
Yeah, it was a good split. We'll take it.
Yeah, Coach Alvaro, talk about for you. So a little bit of pause in time. You're all amped up, ready to go last year. So you've seen some of these guys, but you haven't actually been able to fill out that lineup card officially yet. So who's your next guy?
Well, I mean, pitching wise, I think we're very deep. We got Ben's twin brother, Steven. Steven's a pitcher, a senior. Thomas Goldberg, lefty senior, is going to D2 school down in Maryland. We have a junior right-hander, Lucas Hample, that we're excited about. And then we only got to see him a little bit, each of them, but we have a lefty who's a sophomore, Landon Edwards, that we're super excited to see too. So we think we're real deep on the mound. Offensively, Ben's youngest brother, Nate Mares, is going to only be a sophomore this year. We got Ethan Burbage, who's an Old Dominion commit, who got to play for us a little bit as a sophomore, but then again didn't get to see him last year much, being shut down. We got Connor Ward's a senior behind the plate, so we'll have a good leader back behind the plate for us. We got one of our wrestlers, Kevin Parendorf, who was a DH kind of guy, hit a walk-off homer against Clearview in the last dance that we're excited to get in the lineup as well.
So I hear that Ethan Burbage is best described as a bad man. So those guys are going to be lighting lasers, as I'm told.
Well, we'll see about that. There's a lot of great pitchers out there this year. I know all through South Jersey, and we're trying to schedule as many great teams as we can this year to see some of the best pitchers that are around so that we can get ready for the playoffs. We want to do something that Kingsway hasn't done before. 2 years ago, we won the first conference championship in 19 years. So, they're starting to taste it and they're getting excited for baseball in Kingsway. And this is a great group of kids that's willing to put in the time and the effort to do it.
Well, we are certainly looking forward to seeing you guys on Saturday, huh, Mike Gill?
Anytime. First off, we mentioned Hamilton, Kingsway, two schools that very similar size, and this should be a really good one. And anytime you get a chance, look, when you cross. We talk about schools, and Hamilton seems to be one of those schools, Kingsway as well, that sometimes gets lost in the sauce. It's like, hey, don't forget about us. And that's what this game might be about on that day is don't forget about us because I anticipate this one's going to be good.
Yeah, this might be dubbed the coming out party. So one of you guys are going to come out on top and really be flying high on the radar. So good way to kick off the 2021 campaign there, gentlemen.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having us, guys. Billy, Mike, always great seeing you guys, and I always love being part of this CBC tournament.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks
Appreciate it.
Thanks for Hamilton. We're in it for the next 50 years.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so Hamilton and Kingsway ready to go. And
it's like Hamilton and baseball. Those two words just kind of go together, right? I know the football program is great, but it feels like Hamilton and baseball are just like blueberry pie, and they get blueberry pies out there pretty good.
A lot of blueberries in the blueberry capital of the world. So the next matchup, some might argue, has been many years in the making. So you're used to seeing these two teams battle it out, but now the two guys filling out the lineup cards, it's a bit of a reunion tour. So, maybe we can find lights somewhere. This to me is like a Friday Night Lights matchup that's coming up here. So let's throw. Well, there it is. Talk about another holy war. So I guess.
Now, what time is this game?
Yeah, what time is this game?
This is our 2:00 Sunday game for good. Really, it's been our future matchup.
Our marquee Sunday afternoon matchup for a long time now, and as I said earlier in the show. We've had some monsters, whether it be Cole Vanderslice, Joe Gatto, Joe Murphy,
Vale,
Andrew Vale. They've just thrown some monsters out there, and this is one of my favorite matchups.
Well, I don't think we need to introduce these two guys to each other. They may know each other, just maybe this much.
Why'd you make the old guys wait till the end of the night?
Yeah. Hey, listen. Well, when you guys are the marquee matchup and you're towards the back of the game matchups, Coach. But Coach Bailon, I got to tell you, and Coach Barth, much the same. I mean, seeing you guys embrace technology, that's big. So I'm glad to see you guys both with us on video. And welcome to the Coaches versus Cancer. Well, this has got to be one of the marquee matchups on the slate, and everything is becoming new again for you guys, I guess. So, Coach Bailon, I guess we'll let you bat first here. No surprise, you got a stable full of arms yet again.
Yeah, we got some guys coming back. Obviously, we had more last year, but we're pretty excited about what we have coming back this year. Jackson Vanesco going to Bryant, Cole Fry, Andrew Gaines, a transfer from Cherokee, he's going to Wake Forest, just to name a few. And, Ryan Weingartner may even get on the mound. He's going to Purdue. He's our shortstop. So we're pretty excited about that. I just want to say to Billy and Mike, thanks again for having us. We always look forward to this tournament and this matchup for a great cause, and glad to be battling with Coach Barth again.
So, Coach Barth, welcome back.
Yeah, glad to be back. Not sure if I'm feeling great about being the old coach now. I remember when Billy Kern was still playing. So I'm really feeling old now. And me and Mike have been around a long time, and we've had some great matchups over the years. And we always try to schedule them during the season and a preseason game or as many times as possible because it's always a great game.
Yeah, so, Coach, being that this now is going to be the your first official season back, having this matchup right out of the gate, is it just like riding a bike?
Yeah, it's like riding a bike, except it's our 5th game that week, so we're having a pretty big week. We play a 6th game 2 days later, or the next day, so we really have 6 games in 7 days or 8 days to start the season. I don't know who made the schedule, but it wasn't a good schedule. But we're always happy to play good teams, and we're glad to be a part of this thing. And we're unlike the Eagles, there's all this debate about whether there's going to be competition for the quarterback job. We got nothing but competition all over for jobs up and down our lineup because we basically had 12 seniors last year coming back. They're all gone. We only have 5 seniors, and the whole freshman through senior class will be fighting for starting jobs. Every position's open on the field, and hopefully after they're done listening to this show tonight, they're out hitting and throwing, getting ready for the competition.
Well, and this is something, coaches, you're probably used to every year is having that competition where you have guys who aren't getting a lot of playing time that are good enough to be on the field. And that's what makes your programs 2 of the best. And it's why you're in this marquee spot, because you have guys sitting watching that are good enough to play most of the time.
Yeah. And it's, we say that to a lot of our kids, it's kind of, wait your turn a little bit. Eventually, once in a while you do get a young kid to come up, but some kids, just don't have the patience for that. But, anything can happen in the game of baseball, even just the experience. And when they're, it's their turn to be called, up, we have all the confidence in the world that they can come in and contribute.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And that's what it's all. You wear the badge of honor. You play the game for pride. And Coach Bailone, looks like Eddie Charlton has noticed your surroundings in your room. So he said that he calls hashtag that's my coach. So
yeah, he's responsible for a few of those things. But tell him it's a small office, so don't get too excited.
Hey, Coach Bailone, he's so complimentary of you that he promised us you would be on video because your daughters would teach you, not because you knew what you were doing or anything.
No, it's a miracle that I'm actually on here. So Eddie kind of threatened me, so I had to make that.
So, Coach Barth, you so a couple additions to the coaching staff. So a couple of familiar but new faces. So that's something pretty exciting for your kids, and it seems like it's helped you with some new guys kind of showing back up.
Yeah, some of the old guys are back. Coach Mondal, Steve Mondal, infamously known as the Snake, he's back on the staff. Got Paulie Waters who was back there. He played for me at Brooklawn. Billy Gore's back. We got quite a large staff, tell you the truth, and we just keep adding names. Like I said, we got a lot of positions open. We want to, every position be coached pretty much during practice. Might have a couple ex-Rams come back and be coaches. So I think we're going to have a pretty good staff. And like I said, we got competition up and down the lineup, and we're going to have to have some young guys come in. We don't have a lot of guys in waiting. They're going to play. If they're good enough to pitch, if they're freshmen, sophomores, or whatever, they're going to pitch if they're good enough. Because we only have 5 seniors, so we got a lot of spots open, a lot of innings on the mound, and a lot of positions in the field open. We're not really sure if we had to write a lineup right now. I couldn't write it out. In fact, I'm over for 30 years getting my opening day lineup right, because that's what happens. Competition comes out, and then there's always a surprise here or there, but the kids got to work on it. That's what it's all about.
So Mike Gill and I were actually talking about a dynamic that's already playing out in basketball that we know is going to affect the baseball season, but more so for you guys than most. It's trying to who you're who you're able to play, right? Like it seems like you're kind of confined. You're playing a lot of teams that are local to you. How much has this whole new dynamic from COVID restricted your ability to kind of go to some of the places you would normally kind of go outside of conference to go get some games?
Yeah, we generally go up. I think this year we may only go up to North Jersey one time. I mean, I don't even know, what the situation is going to be with busing. If we're allowed to bring two teams, or if we're going to get more buses, or I don't know how that's going to shake out. But like Coach Barth was saying, I mean, it's all fine and good. We got 5 games, the first week, and 6 games 1 week, and he's got the same, and as everyone else does. But we could be shut down for 2 weeks in a heartbeat. So we're gonna schedule all these games, and we're gonna hope that we're gonna get them all in. But we just keep our fingers crossed.
We lost some games too, just because of the COVID already. Some conferences aren't playing out of conference, so we're supposed to be playing like Hamilton West and some schools from Mercer County. Their league didn't even let them play outside conference games. So we actually had trouble filling our schedule. We had to pick up so many games, and we usually go to Florida or someplace for a spring trip, and we couldn't do that at all. So we actually just fulfilled our schedule like in the last couple of days, and actually we're playing Eustace a couple of times and filled in some games, so that made it good.
So is it fair to say that it puts an even larger premium of getting into the Diamond Classic this year?
I mean, I think every year it's a goal. This year, could be a little more difficult. With Billy, how long was did we talk about the Diamond Classic for about an hour and a half last night? So I sure hope it goes off, because I've spent about 5 hours of my life that I'll never get back talking about the Diamond Classic.
I was waiting to see what direction you were going to go with that, because I know you don't want to talk Diamond Classic.
Fair enough. All right. So listen, gentlemen, we appreciate you hanging with us here in the Late Show. I think Jimmy Fallon's probably not too far behind coming up next, but nonetheless, having 2 marquee teams with so much tradition of winning, tradition of really playing in a tough spot, and having just gritty kids that have to earn their time. And sometimes, like you said, Coach, you get to wait 3, sometimes even till your 4th year to make that happen. So obviously, we're hoping there's going to be a lot of people at the game, but if not, there's going to be a whole heck of a lot of people watching on our live stream. So best of luck to the both of you guys, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us. Good night.
Yes, thanks for having us. We're happy to be in the tournament. It's always fun.
Coach Barth, welcome back, man. It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Alone and Dennis Barth. So
if there's one game you can pick to go to that whole weekend,
I don't know. There's a handful of biggies, and this is probably consistently one of the best. Obviously, having Don Bosco come down against Holy Spirit, I mean, that's a tough one to look away from too. So, and all the Group 4 schools, the powerhouses,
Ocean City, Eustace.
Yeah, there's just I couldn't pinpoint one, but I'm going to get to see them all, so we're lucky.
Well, so apparently Billy Gore, head of the South Jersey Baseball Coaches Association, says, "LOL, my bad about that meeting." So I guess that's a whole nother show, Mike Gill. Maybe there's a story for you on 97.3
Any
Sports
baseball
Bash
meeting
tomorrow.
ends up being too long of a meeting.
He did a great job with the meeting. It's just the Diamond Talk year in and year out is just at the top of everybody's list. And there's no way to shorten it.
You just get baseball guys in a room together, and it inevitably doesn't start for 2 hours after everybody tells them, minimizes how good they really are, right? That happens for, we were missing this guy. I don't have that guy. I need this guy. Meanwhile, he's got a guy throwing 89, another guy 92, and he's just crying the blues. That's every coach.
Well, again, though, here's the silver lining. You got teams that are playing 5 and 6 games in an 8-day period. I got news for you, man. Anybody can step up to the plate and do some damage.
That's one of the crazy things about high school baseball, it seems, in this area now is I know teams don't want to admit it, but they have the pitching a lot. Like the depth of pitching in this area is, I know when I played, maybe when you played, you had 2 guys, maybe, and the second guy wasn't very good. He just happened to need to fill. The third guy wasn't very good at all. Now the 4th guy is getting signed, and he never can't get on the high school mound, and yet they're getting looked. It's it's really the depth of pitching in this area has really been impressive.
Yeah, if you can put an offense on the field this year that can get on base and manufacture some runs, more often than not, there's just shutdown arms going out there for teams. So 2 runs is going to win a lot of games with some of these arms that teams are trotting out there. And what used to be this guy is 85, 86 Division I guy is still a Division I guy, but now we're talking about guys that are consistently over 90 and kind of comfortably sitting there. It's just I know for Mike and I, we probably sit closer at our field to home plate than any other field, and it's just the ball's on top of you in no time, and these guys can move the ball around, and it's something to watch.
The final matchup of the Coaches versus Cancer Classic is one that is an arsenal of bats. So not only do you have some arms, but I know one of our coaches that we're going to be welcoming into the show here, he's a must follow on Twitter if you don't already. So I got to give him at least those kind of props. So welcome to the show, Coach Derek Regan and Bob Kelly. Gentlemen.
How you guys doing?
How we doing?
Living the dream. So, Coach Regan, man, you look like you're operating under the cloak of darkness. You in a batting cage right now with the lights out?
I'm actually in my truck. I was running from job to job, so I had ran out for a couple minutes just to meet you guys and to thank Coach Kern and having us in this tournament. I know we spoke last year about trying to get in, and I know for myself and the Clearview program, we're real happy to be a part of this. So
appreciate it, Coach. And Clearview is just one of those teams that was on Mike and I's radar for a long time, and fortunately got kind of met each other through football, which was good, and got an opening. And anytime we can add a Group 4 powerhouse like Clearview, the event's going to get better.
I just have to say, I wasn't that on board with this, Coach Reagan. Last time I saw Clearview, we lost in the South Jersey final with Buddy Kennedy going against Kenny Mendoza. So I'm just going to throw it out there, Coach. I'm not thrilled with Clearview right now. But all jokes aside, man, Clearview is a top-notch Group 4 program, and we're lucky to have you.
Well, Coach Kelly, you're another guy who's been patiently waiting for this season to start. And you talk about a program rich in tradition. You guys they tend to regenerate.
We do, and it's funny when you look at our roster this year. You're going to see a ton of seniors, which normally, as a head coach, you're really happy when you get that situation. The problem is most of our seniors missed their junior year, and this is their first time playing varsity. So that's the thing that we're looking at. We lost a core of seniors last year that obviously didn't get their season, be able to play their season. And now those guys that were juniors would have played a lot. It was nice being able to play in the last dance and get those guys some games. But they're seniors, but they're going at it at the varsity level for the first time.
Well, Coach Regan, on the flip side, you talk about a lineup that year after year, especially these last couple, has had some really beefy dudes. A lot of people want to know what's in the water up there near Clearview and Mullica Hill.
Well, I tell you what, it helps being a part of the football program and having a phenomenal staff that's all in-house from football to baseball. One of our PE teachers is actually our strength and conditioning coach. And, I've been on a couple different programs, most recently at Eastern, where, we wanted to build relationships with our guys. And that was the most important thing. And, you can't do anything baseball related. So we're like, we're going to get in the weight room. We're going to get stronger. We're going to get tougher. And that was going to be our mindset. So when we took over, that was definitely something we wanted to do. And it fell into place. And, we had 30 guys 3 days a week bought in, and, it's pretty cool to have our guys come out. The confidence comes through the roof, and, being able to compete, you have to do what you need to do to Group 4 because it's a battlefield all over. So, wherever you can find a little bit of edge, we're going to do whatever we can.
Yeah. And then, Coach Kelly, just Washington Township, as he kind of said, you just cannot regenerate, but it seems like you play these kids at 13, 14, and they all stick together, and it seems that you just have such a big crop, and baseball just means something in that town.
Yeah, we're really excited. It's kind of funny talking to our seniors this year. That's the one thing that they keep saying to me, Coach, we've been playing together since we were 7 years old. So, they're very excited about this senior year, obviously. Coach and I coached a couple different sports against each other. We used to have some wars when we used to play Eastern. We coached football against each other. So I'm sure this is going to be another game just like that.
Well, it's certainly going to be the one that a lot of people are going to be hanging on the fence for, because I think I look at your lineups, especially from an offensive standpoint, there's going to be a lot of lost balls. That's my probably first big, I'm going to go out on a limb prediction, but I know what the power that lies in these lineups, and especially if we're a couple games in and maybe we get your guys' third or fourth pitcher, who knows? I think the ball's going to fly. Just a hunch.
I'm saving my one for this game.
Oh, I like it. Look at Kelly. All right.
Love to hear. I like it. We'll have to match it up, and I'm sure Julian Coss will be ready to go. He'll be our number one this year, and we're real excited to have him on the bump. Fourth-year guy, fourth-year starter going to Widener. And then, I have to drop a couple names. There are a couple of our seniors that have been chomping at the bit. We're really strong up the middle with Adam McAvoy, Goldie Beacom behind the dish, and then up the middle with Cole Fowler. Those guys are our returners. Just started as sophomores, and they've done a hell of a job just getting prepared. So we're excited to see them play.
Well, guys, we want to really say thank you, because we had a little bit of a delayed start. You guys got impacted more than anybody. But, I think so many people are excited about just getting this season started, and especially starting with the Coaches versus Cancer Classic. Lot to be anticipatory towards, and pretty fired up for this season. So thanks for hanging in there and joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely an honor for us.
All right.
Thanks,
Talk
gentlemen.
soon, fellas. So
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. Have a great night.
Coach Regan, Clearview, Washington Township. And, like I said, talk about a lot of runs, going to load the bases. And I guess just like any good game or any good event, you need a grand slam. So you guys needed a grand slam sponsor. And so, I think it's time to probably hear from one.
All right. Thank you very much for having me. My name is Joe Bunting, and I'm the president of the South Jersey South Shore Baseball League. And we're really excited to partner up with the Coaches versus Cancer high school baseball tournament at the end of April. Being a Mainland graduate and a four-year baseball starter, it's always special to get involved and get back to Mainland with it. We've been doing it the last several years. In the past, we've been doing it through my pharmacy, Bunting Family Pharmacy, but we have a new baseball league that just thought it really made sense to be part of that. And we're really happy to get connected with the Coaches versus Cancer. Besides baseball, it has a special meaning for me, because my father, Peter Bunting, who is actively involved with baseball locally and the pharmacy, he had his own bout with prostate cancer 12 years ago. So he is a prostate cancer survivor. And then also he's had several battles with skin cancer that he luckily has continuously won. And but unfortunately, I lost a very dear friend of mine, Dr. B.J. Sino, several years back. And for the first year of the Coach versus Cancer, it was really great. We were able to have one of Dr. Sino's daughters, all his three daughters, all graduated from Mainland, and he currently has a son who's a junior at Mainland. But his youngest daughter, Kara, was able to throw out the first pitch at the one baseball game with Mainland and Millville. So it was pretty neat to be there for that. And we know that he was looking down, smiling, being a huge baseball fan, and being there for us trying to strike out cancer. But again, it's a great opportunity to see some amazing baseball. It's the premier baseball tournament, I would say, in South Jersey. And the Coach Kern has done an incredible job for Mainland, transferring it from Millville to Mainland, and he's just gotten great support from the community, and then all the other coaches being part of it. So it really is a special time. It's an unbelievable cause. I challenge anybody that has not been impacted either directly or indirectly. Unfortunately, we all know somebody, who has experienced this horrible disease of cancer. So it's a great opportunity for us to kind of come together to try to battle this the best that we can, and then also see some incredible baseball. And I think that this year, more than ever, is going to be very special since we all had to deal with COVID last year, and we currently are still dealing with it. So I think it'll be a great opportunity for the communities to really get out there, because we haven't really had that opportunity over the last year. So I think it's going to be a really special tournament, and looking forward to being part of it, and just spreading the word. And I'm excited with our the South Jersey South Shore Baseball League. It's a brand new baseball league, and it's going to encompass really the majority of the teams that are going to be involved. We are a high school collegiate wooden bat league that will be starting up this right around Memorial Day weekend. So it'll be a month after the Coaches versus Cancer. So our goal is to make it the marquee league of South Jersey. We currently have 10 teams that are involved, and we think it's going to be a great opportunity to keep this incredible talent in Atlantic and Cape May counties, instead of potentially seeing our players, leaving to go into some other.
All right, that was Joe Bunting, our Grand Slam sponsor and the president of the new South Jersey South Shore Baseball League, Wood Bat Central right there. So that's going to be something exciting to look forward to as well. And I know for you guys, Joe Bunting really stepped up his family pharmacy and been just a marquee guy.
Yeah, Joe. Ever since we came over from Millville to Mainland, Joe's been a kind of a primary sponsor for us, and his generosity is pretty tremendous, and his willingness to be involved is and I kind of touched on this earlier. It's just a testament to the community, Joe's kind of made it a priority to be involved, and we're certainly very appreciative of Joe.
It's outstanding. We can't do it without local businesses and sponsors. And Mike, you've been on this scene for a while, especially when it comes to, we'll call it the fundraising dynamic. You heavily involved with the Atlantic Shore team, went to the World Series a couple of years back. Firsthand how much we always rely on the generosity of so many local people and businesses. And in a year where a lot of businesses have been up against it, to have people that find it in their heart to still step up is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and Joe and I played together. And by the way, Joe pitched that game against Delsea and beat them out there. So he was a hell of a pitcher. He also pitched the next game against. So remember, I said they didn't have two pitchers. Joe pitched every game for us because the second guy, me, wasn't very good. But Joe and his generosity, he does a lot. And you're right, the fundraising efforts, and that's one of the cool things about this area is we have been able with Atlantic Shore to send teams all over without charging the kids to play, because the businesses in this area have jumped on board so much. So the fundraising efforts, and for events like this, I can argue, the pre-roll that we ran in the beginning, and I'm sure before the tournament gets here, there will be more, because these are the type of things that this community always gets behind. And that's why our league and the high school area has been so, I think, plentiful with talent, is because of businesses that allow us to give them the best tournaments and matchups and uniforms. You know how important the uniforms are. I try to tell Rosino all the time, you got to get the uniforms. That's all these kids care about.
Yeah, the opportunities afforded to these guys to travel. I know with your programs down to Arkansas, and to not only to travel, though, you guys were going to far off places that weren't easy to get to. And in talking to other area coaches we had on, a lot of teams going to Florida, and our program's gone to Arizona, and I know Eastern, and they've gone to California and things like that. So just to give these kids lifelong experiences and memories is what it's all about.
Yeah, and one of the cool things too, being in like this position and being, doing stuff with you guys now this baseball season, especially with your program, Bean's program, a lot of the Cape Atlantic League teams are kids that I got to see at 13, 14. By alone talked about Jackson Vanesco. I mean, I had him at 13 years old, and where he is now to where he was as a 13-year-old, it's like amazing to watch that progress. That's the cool part about what I get to do. I get them at 13, and then, just from 13 to 18, that's
Big.
really cool. Yeah,
Oh,
but it's really cool to see how, your guys behind us, I don't know if they're still here, but Mark Elliott, I had at 13 years old. He's, that's something that you never saw either. Kid playing as a freshman, that didn't happen all that much. Now it seems regular. Like, you guys can't wait for that kid to be a freshman because you're ready to put him right on the field.
Yeah, it's nice. These guys have so many opportunities to play, and the Babe Ruth with Bill Rosino's done such a great job with that league in general. And then there's the facilities that are open around here. Mike and Eddie, who are on our board, do a great job with young guys and with college guys and pro guys and things like that. So we get a lot of high school ready kids now that we can get on the field and insert in the lineup much earlier than we have in the past.
It's really cool. And Bristol mentioned, he's got Ethan McCarron, who's a kid who he lives in Ventnor, played for me in Ventnor, but he goes to Ocean City with that whole thing.
Choice school.
And, I don't know that he's thrown an inning in high school baseball yet. I mean, he's got to be 16 right now.
Yeah, and even Tommy Finnegan, before he ever stepped on the mound, he was already
that
had offers.
Just shows you, though, how cool this area is to be playing baseball in right
Absolutely.
now. And this kind of tournament gives these kids an unbelievable chance to get that exposure. And with the video now, you saw what Adams was on video, and that's unbelievable. These stories around here are great.
Yeah, well, in case anybody didn't see it, just a shameless plug for Mike Adams. So you talk about kind of what you might see later on this season, this week in baseball, South Jersey. Here's Mike Adams, local.
All right, another free agent, Mike Adams. You know this guy?
Yeah, I refer to him as Sensei. So he's Sensei Mike Adams of the Baseball Performance Center. And here's a guy that practices what he preaches. So to see him out here on the mound, something absolutely fierce. Got a lot of guys interested to see what he's able to throw. Whew, Lordy. Just short explosion. 97.5.
Oh, listen to oohs and ahs. Yeah, love it.
Wow. There it is.
98.
He's climbing the ladder. All right, so Mike Adams. So, guys, a lot of people ask Mike Adams, how is it he throws as hard as he does? And the fact of the matter is he hangs out at Charlie's. So his diet is really heavily involved with the wings and the tails that go along with it. And he says that the extra flames are really kind of what get him going. So a bit of a shameless plug for our friends here at Charlie's. And we're hoping to see Jeff Round.
I haven't seen him.
He's in the kitchen. He's making more food. What can I say?
Yeah, Oil's over there ordering more wings. Having that up there was really neat. I just want to say, like, guys like Mike and Ed, as cool of a story as it is to have Mike sign a contract with the Phillies and everything. We know him differently. We know him as kind of one of our buddies and a guy who's poured his heart and soul into this event. And that hasn't changed. And by all accounts, it's not going to, regardless of where Mike ends up. I know he'll always be a big part of what we're doing. So I kind of wanted to throw that out there because, we see him signing a contract with the Phillies, but Billy and I see him a little bit differently. We see him behind the scenes making this event happen.
And an alum. He threw in this event many moons ago.
He did. He threw for Spirit in this event.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, guys,
actually, Eddie, he's a little older, but his brother Nolan played for Holy Spirit in this event too. So the Charlton family has a pretty big connection too. So we're lucky to have them on board.
Yeah, well, they're doing a lot of great work throughout the South Jersey baseball community for sure. Seen it firsthand, and these guys are committed. They're dedicated. They're borderline crazy, but that's what I love about them. So, guys, it looks like we are about ready to indulge in hopefully some great draft selections for the beer standpoint here at Charlie's, and certainly the wings and the tails. So, Billy?
We just wanted to thank a couple people before you wrap up. Obviously, our administration at school, Mike Gatley, does a great job as our AD, Mark Marone, the superintendent, who allow us to put this event on, and Gary Brick running our grounds. And anybody that was with us 2 years ago knew we got 2-3 inches of water, got it off by 9 a.m. and got those games in. And And the biggest one I want to point out also is Jimmy Conover and the Atlantic County Umpires Association. Every single game is a 3-man crew, and not one umpire takes a dime all weekend long. So every single matchup you saw is going to get a high level of quality umpires from Jimmy's crew. And like I said, they don't take anything, and we've gotten donations back from all their guys. So we can't thank ACOA for being a part of our event, and Jimmy and his guys are fantastic.
So that's outstanding. Mike Gill, I know you and I, being baseball guys, my brother from another, Al Fisher, sitting there at home, he's pretty excited about it. The legendary coach Tom Ryder, World Series champion over there of Rowan College, South Jersey. A lot of awesome things going on from a baseball scene, but you and I especially, we're pretty stoked to be able to take high school baseball to an even larger level for hopefully many more student athletes and get them even more exposure.
Yeah, and I talk about it like this is the cool part for me, watching these guys, move to that next level. It's funny, there's not a day typically, I feel like anyway, that goes by that I don't get a call. I was on the phone today talking about getting the league ready. We're starting to hit, we start the Sunday after the Super Bowl. So the Super Bowl's this Sunday. We'll start hitting actually Wednesday night for our season that will start up. And looking forward to another. Let's hope that we can get all these games in.
Yeah, well, positive thinking, the power of positive thinking. All right, well, listen, everybody, we appreciate you tuning in from Charlie's for this special edition of This Week in Baseball, the Coaches versus Cancer Reveal Show. For Mike Edwards, Billy Kern, Mike Gill, I'm Doug Stasic, and we can't wait to see you play ball.